Let's see. Let's you know what? Let's do the Angry Birds one, you guys. Let's check out Angry Birds, see what's up.
Back in 2011, Angry Birds was...
So this is Angry Birds. The slow, painful, greedy death of Angry Birds. Hey, let's check it out. Let's get it.
They had multiple different games, toys, and movies, generating hundreds of millions of dollars. But by 2019, they were firing masses of staff, and since then things have only gotten worse.
Yeah, I remember when Angry Birds first came out. I didn't have a smartphone yet, but I know people that did, or people had iPads, and I would literally ask them, hey, let me use your iPad. Let me play Angry Birds to test it, you know? And I would play Angry Birds, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was a cool game. I just, after a little while, I got ADHD, so after a little while, I'm like, next. Hey, all right, I'm not doing this shit no more. So yeah. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, back to business. Let's get it.
Perhaps it's just karma for stealing the initial idea. Angry Birds wasn't an original concept.
Oh, shit.
In April 2009,
Nice.
a game was...
I did not know that. Like I said, 2009, people had like smartphones, but like I didn't get a smartphone till like 2016. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I definitely didn't know that.
Release named Crush the Castle, which required players to fire a trebuchet into wooden structure hiding
I seen something like this. I seen a little game like this before, yeah.
medieval people. Well, 8 months later, in December 2009, game developer
Got him!
Rovio made an app named Angry Birds, which, while clearly being a rip-off, was better in every way. It had cooler everywhere.
Nice.
They had multiple different
shit.
games, toys, and movies, generating hundreds of millions of dollars. But by 2019, they were... Angry Birds wasn't an original concept. In April 2000, Rovio made an app named Angry Birds.
Alright, there it goes, guys.
Which, while clearly being a rip-off, was better in every way. It had cooler, cleaner animations.
I mean, it looks like the same shit, though. I ain't gonna really lie to you. It's just with birds and fucking circle green pigs.
Graphics, and different stages, each with different levels. You got points for every enemy killed, and points for every bird you didn't use, giving players the chance to compete.
I think the furthest I ever went on that was like maybe 12. Level 12. Maybe 1 to 8, something like that.
For high scores. Throw in 5 different birds with 5 different abilities, as well as a cool, catchy soundtrack, and it's easy to see that Angry Birds was better. They'd developed 51 games prior to Angry Birds, none of which saw even the smallest bit of success. Therefore, when Angry Birds took only 2 months to become the #1 paid app in 60 countries, they understandably took the chance to milk it. They'd make loads of different varieties like Angry Birds Seasons, Angry Birds Space.
I don't remember Angry Birds Seasons. Angry Birds Space, I think I remember
Angry
that.
Angry Birds Star Wars.
I do remember the Star Wars one. I played it a few times. Certain ones have like little lightsabers and shit, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Helping it become the #1 paid app in Apple's App Store with 6 to 7 million paid downloads. By the end of
Damn, that's a lot of downloads.
Angry Birds' first year, they'd made $10 million US.
$10 million, you guys. That's pretty good.
But players still demanded more. We have so many fans who have asked for the plush toys, so these are going to be available in a couple of weeks. And we're really trying to build Angry Birds into this entertainment franchise.
Definitely, I remember the toys. My kids like them. Years later, though, because I had my first kid in 2012, so my kids did have some of these toys. I remember people buying them. I remember them probably most likely in GameStop, Walmart's. I mean, they're probably still around. I mean, I haven't noticed, but yeah, I remember these little toys. These little, they're like little bears or some shit. They're just stuffed.
It took only 4 months before they'd announced 60,000 Angry Birds soft toys have been sold, as the game itself became the best-selling paid app of all time.
That's a crazy accomplishment. Holy shit. And then they copied off of another game pretty much, and they just put their mix and spin to it, which is pretty dope. Like, hey, I mean, you do what you gotta do, and I mean, as long as they didn't break any rules, right? I mean, you do what you gotta do.
Within Angry Birds itself, that implement microtransactions like Mighty Eagle, which allowed players to pay to clear entire levels. With celebs like Justin Bieber,
I don't remember that toy. I mean, that toy. I don't remember that paid winning a whole level. Probably because I'm broke and I would never pay for that shit. But I don't remember that. But I mean, that's pretty dope. I didn't know they had something like that where you just clear the whole level.
even advocating for it. Angry Birds made $100 million in 2011.
$106 million from Angry Birds. Dang. Where the hell are they now? I'm about to skip the whole video. Where the hell are they now? What happened?
And went from 28 employees in the beginning of the year to 224 employees by the end of 2011. 5 months later, they set a new world record. First mobile game series to reach 1 billion downloads.
Well, I mean, it was free, right? It was free, most likely. And everybody at that time was talking about it and everybody was getting it. Smartphones were coming out. They were becoming popular. And, yeah, I remember downloading it on my tablet, even though it was like an old tablet where it was like, it would like stutter a lot and look pretty shitty. I do remember that.
They'd double their revenue again by the end of 2012, at which point they started to face a serious problem. The game was getting stale. They'd made multiple different Angry Birds versions, but hadn't changed the concept in over 3 years. As a result, in the following year, their profits more than halved, with Angry Birds falling to 59th in the App Store, forcing the franchise to try a new format.
Holy shit. They fell that hard. That was a pretty hard fall. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing because more apps started coming out. That's what it's really from. A lot of other apps started coming out and people started playing more mobile games. Because there's after that Angry Bird stage, I'm pretty sure there was a shit ton of mobile games that came out and people were all trying different things and trying a shit ton of different games. So yeah, that's most likely what it was from. It was the hottest shit on the market, and then all of a sudden it just died out, you know?
It released Angry Birds Go at the end of 2013, and while this was somewhat of a Mario Kart ripoff,
oh shit, I did not know they made this. I definitely didn't know. I gotta check it out. I definitely gotta check it out.
people absolutely loved it.
So, I mean, it's fun. It is good fun. It looks good. It plays well.
I mean, it looks awesome. It looks pretty dope. It definitely looks pretty cool.
Professional reviewers gave it 7.7, while people on Reddit called it their favorite Angry Birds game, and perfection at its finest. Rovio therefore continued to experiment,
Oh shit, RPGs, y'all.
releasing an RPG game named Angry Birds Epic, which again received incredible reviews reading, "The latest Angry Birds title is a welcome addition to a franchise, which hasn't seen much change since its inception back in 2009. Similarly, users said it might be the best RPG title I've ever played."
Really? Maybe I gotta get it. What's it called? Angry Birds Epic.
Honestly, a pretty solid time. I think the approach they went with here really worked and paid off.
The only problem was, these games didn't sell merch like the original Slingshot format. Therefore, merchandise sales plummeted, while total 2014 revenue dropped, and profits fell 73% to 10 million euros. As a result,
Holy shit. 73%, y'all. Holy shit.
media outlets reported, Rovio lays off 110 people as Angry Birds hype fades, representing 14% of the company's workforce. They try to fix their decline with yet another experiment, Angry Birds Pop, which was pretty unsuccessful.
Yeah, looks like it. I've seen a couple games like this, where you gotta pop the colors and shit. It's definitely not for me.
In a Reddit thread asking out of all the Angry Birds games, which one do you think is the worst, Pop was mentioned many times over. Therefore, they'd go back to basics and put out Angry Birds 2, the official sequel, although many called it a downgrade from the original. The sequel was filled to the
I'm pretty sure Angry Birds was free before. Now you get it free, but now you got a shit ton of microtransactions, you guys. And I'm betting this didn't go well.
Transactions, clearly annoying the fan base who wrote, "This is a very greedy game that keeps sucking money out of you. If you play well, the game becomes harder and harder until it's impossible, and then you either have to replay each level 10 times or buy gems."
So if it gets so hard that I'm guessing you have to go back and replay all the levels again. Or buy gems. I ain't trying to play a game that I gotta waste fucking time. Fuck that. And no, I'm not buying gems.
The game is just trying to throw you off balance and get under your skin so that you pay more.
Yeah, gotcha.
The official IGN review said the game took significant steps backward for the massively popular series.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to rely on microtransactions for all their games. That's the crazy part. For me, when I see a game that has a shit ton of microtransactions, I don't get them. Maybe Call of Duty. I've gotten maybe one of the Black Cell battle passes that came with it. But after that, I don't buy any of the skins, none of that. I just play the game to have fun. I don't play the game to keep buying shit over and over and over. Then next thing you know, you pay $500, $800 on this game that the next year, because I'm already hearing there might be a Call of Duty Black Ops 7 next year. And $10, it's not going to carry over.
Angry Birds 2 is missing key parts of what made previous games so universally compelling to gamers both hardcore and casual, young and old. Still, due to its intense monetization,
Most likely they were trying to go after the younger kids with this shit. It's just, y'all see the top left of the screen? Does he got 83 million diamonds? Who bought all that shit?
Angry Birds 2 became their highest earning game. Surprisingly, however, that very same year, they'd announced losses of almost 15 million and would fire a further third of their workforce, this time being over 200 people. This seemed to imply that Angry Birds was dead until they'd make an unexpected comeback. Turns out they'd spent the previous 3 years privately developing the Angry Birds movie at a cost
Okay, all right, I seen the movie. The movie wasn't bad. I don't know if I seen part 2, but part 1 was pretty good. It was okay. It's a kids movie, you know. They got some like mature humor in it too. So, but I mean, I thought it wasn't bad. The movie wasn't. It definitely wasn't bad. Guys, if you're in here, if you guys might be want to see another type of video, guys, don't be afraid to comment down below. And like I said, make sure y'all follow it up, subscribe, follow it up, y'all.
of 73 million, they'd made a risky bet, but with a star-studded cast and a fun little story.
That movie cost $73 million to make. I'm guessing it was because all the voice actors, but holy shit.
The Angry Birds movie did surprisingly well. It made over 350 million.
Yeah, that's a good take. That's good.
From its 70 million budget.
Yeah, that's real good.
And put Angry Birds back into the public spotlight. People began replaying their previously released games, while Angry Birds theme parks popped up in different countries. Media outlets reported Rovio Games.
There's Angry Bird theme parks? I didn't know this. Where the hell are these places located? What?
Had its best year
That's
ever
crazy.
in 2016. However, the gaming releases that Angry Birds was known for was still declining in quality. In his video, I played and ranked every Angry Birds game so you don't have to. Jake Miller talks about Angry Birds Action.
Angry Birds Action was the start of using the new anthropomorphic designs from the movies in their games, which I think most fans agree was the
Looks like a pinball game.
real beginning of the end for the series.
which happened to be the first game after the movie. Similarly, in the Reddit thread asking about the worst Angry Birds game, one user implied it was most of them after the movie's release. Said games included Angry Birds Fight, aka a Candy Crush ripoff, as well as Angry Birds Match, which was described as extremely bland.
Guys, these games are all the same. A lot of these games, like that, we gotta match the shit. They're all the same. They just try to push microtransactions. The same thing with the other Angry Birds game, where you get to a certain point where you can't beat it. You gotta play 10 levels or buy gems. Most likely, these games are the same shit. Yeah.
However, thankfully for Rovio, their older titles were still extremely popular, with
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're gonna, because the new stuff sucked ass. So yeah, you're gonna want to play the old shit because the new shit is trash. Obviously, I mean, if I played those type of games, I'd be playing that shit too. It's chill mode shit. You go to a doctor's appointment or you go do something and you're doing nothing. You just pop on the Angry Birds game and you start playing a little bit, you know?
with Angry Birds 2's revenue growing 47% in 2018, despite it being over 3 years old. This gave them the budget to make a second movie. However, their $65 million bet didn't pay off so well this time.
All right, I don't remember part 2, but they paid less money. I think it said 71. Did it say 71 for the first movie, 65 for the second? So like, I guess a $6 million difference.
Forbes wrote Angry Birds 2 is worse than the original in nearly every way, whilst Rotten Tomatoes critics added, a distressingly ineffective sequel that grows less and less interesting and more tiresome as it unfolds. Still, the movie
I don't remember the movie though. Maybe I have to check it out. Maybe when I got time, I'll check what app has the movie just to check it out. I remember part 1. It was pretty cool. It wasn't too bad. It was actually a pretty good movie. I don't remember part 2 though. I don't think I seen it, or I might have and just totally forgot about it because it was trash.
made a profit of $82 million right as the company was.
Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that difference. They made like 350. I think it was 350. And now down to 147. Yeah.
Making some
That's a
weird
big
changes. Despite their older games being low maintenance, Rovio decided to completely stop updating them. Then, without explanation,
Guys, that's my cat. Don't worry.
some of the older beloved titles, including the original Angry Birds, were deleted from the App Store. When people began to talk about what they'd done, people made compilations stating Angry Birds was dead.
Oh, so they deleted it from the phone apps and shit? I didn't even know that. I mean, I'm never looking at it, but I didn't know that.
There were comments like, remember when Rovio actually cared? Whilst hashtag BringBack2012 began to trend on Twitter. Things got so bad that Rovio apologized, stating they only did it as maintaining the highest quality of updates and live operations isn't possible with our older games. In response to the backlash, that announced they planned on redeveloping Angry Birds Classic, which was re-released on the App Store in 2022, but at a price of $1.99 with no in-game purchases. They'd changed Classic's name
Oh, well, there's no microtransactions. That's a good thing. For $1.99,
to Red's First Flight, making it harder to find in the App Store, thus prompting players to buy the newer, more profitable games.
so that's what they did. Where people can stop playing the one that they already have because they want people to pay for microtransactions for the newer stuff. So they hid it back there underneath all this other crazy shit. You know what? Let me look. I can look on my phone right now to see. Let's see. Let's see if I can find Angry Birds. I'm going to check it out. Oh, yeah, look at that. All right, so yeah, when I go look at my phone's app store, you got Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Friends, Angry Birds Transformers, Red's First Flight. It's 99 cents right now. #1 in puzzle games. Angry Birds Journey right underneath. So so they're making priority for 1, 2, 3, about 4 games are ahead of this game. But the original one is the one that everyone likes the most. So I don't know. That's weird.
This successfully fooled some people who struggled to find it on the App Store. However, others knew exactly what Angry Birds was doing. They got rid of the old ones so that you would have no other choice than to play the modern Candy Crush-esque games. They despised the games that made the company and so lost its spirit. Rovio basically confirmed this, openly stating they changed the name due to the game's impact on our wider games portfolio. They further requested that fans continue to bring that passion to our live Angry Birds Slingshot games, such as Angry Birds 2, however players weren't too happy. We hope those fans can continue to bring that passion to our other games which have been designed to be more psychologically manipulative and stuffed with more microtransactions. Fixed it for you. The drama was so
Why is my picture not coming up? Here it is. All right. Sorry about that. Shit, where's my live? I just want to make sure I'm in here. All right, so we got 2 people up in here. What is up, y'all?
severe, it seemingly halted any future games, as Angry Birds Classic is still the most recent title, released way back in 2022. In 2023, Rovio was sold to Sega, although this has done little to fix their reputation.
Sega?
One recent tweet expressed,
Sega bought it? That's crazy. Have we gotten any Angry Birds content on systems? I don't know. Does anybody know? I don't know.
Still love Angry Birds. That said, the current state of it is dog shit. My hope for the franchise is at an all-time low right now. I'll just continue to enjoy what I love about it, but it's sad to see what it's become. Despite everything, Angry Birds isn't finished, as they just announced they're making a 3rd movie, although with the rest of the franchise in decline, its performance might be interesting.
I mean, I don't know.